All right, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another exciting episode of GapShap with HP Sajid. I'm your host, HP Sajid, known as Job Swala, and I'm the head of Job Incubator and Internship Projects at Rehan Foundation. So, in this podcast, we bring you inspiring stories, insightful conversation, and valuable experiences from people making an impact in their field. So, today we have a very remarkable guest with us, whose name is Miss Kimberly. She's a founding member of Silicon Valley Alliances and a globally recognized expert in leadership transformation, corporate sustainability, and team development. She is known for her extraordinary keynotes and workshop labs that turn managers into leaders and group into true teams. She also helping organization achieve all the impossibles. So, Kimberly, we are so excited to have you here. How are you doing today?
Oh, finally we get to talk. Thank you so much, Jobswala. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be connected across the world. Thank you for making me feel like we are all truly sharing one planet.
Yeah, and thank you so very much to you. Finally, after a week or two, finally we are here to conduct this podcast, and I'm really glad. So let's start with the introduction. So I would like to ask you to please tell us about yourself and how your journey in leadership and transformation began.
Okay. Yeah, I grew up in a rural western Pennsylvania, out in the woods, running around, camping. I learned to be really scrappy. So, build a fire, sleep in a tent, sleep on the ground. So I came from a very simple beginning of life. Then I went to the Air Force because I needed money for college. And my dad was a welder. My family was blue collar. So I went to the Air Force. I served for 3 years. Then I got out and got my GI Bill money so I could study science because I loved science as a kid. So studied 7 years of college, physics, chemistry, graduated with a master's in physics, bachelor's in chemistry and physics. And then I got a job at Hewlett Packard doing technology stuff, engineering, repairing mass spectrometers, manufacturing engineering, R&D engineering, quality engineering. And then I was finally realized I should have studied psychology. I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to be a great leader. I was too harsh. It was really terrible. So I eventually realized I needed to work on my leadership. So I started to learn that. And then I went to three failed startup companies in 3 years, each time becoming a more effective leader and project manager. And then finally, I knew how to do it. And then I started facilitating other people in leadership and team effectiveness. And I do other things, organizational culture, project management. I mean, I wrote a book on project management. It's translated into Japanese. I can't read Japanese, but I mostly work with Japanese companies and some Silicon Valley companies. And I realized the biggest causes of failure have nothing to do with engineering or technology. It has to do with human beings, teams, and leadership. So, wow, I wish I had learned that a long time ago. Uh, so let's see. What else? Okay, there you are. That's good enough. You know what? Just Google my name. You'll find out a lot of things about me if you want to know more.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. When I was, reviewing your LinkedIn profile, your website, and I was really impressed that you have a very diversified experience. As you said in your introduction, you didn't know anything about psychology, and then you start, know about psychology, and now you are at this stage. Ah, that's great. You are at that stage where you understand people through their psychology when you meet someone at the very first stage, because I know with the experience of 10 years of experience in human resource management, so I got skills develop in me when I see the people, and I can observe them very perfectly. So that's great. So since you have a very diversified experience, you have learned so many things, so what comes in your mind that you start focus on corporate sustainability and leadership transformation?
Well, leadership transformation is because I saw this research. The top four causes of failure in teams: number one, they didn't build trust. Number two, they couldn't communicate, solve problems, or make decisions properly. Three and four were they didn't have clear shared goals, and individual and team goals weren't aligned. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's totally a failure of leadership. And we need to make a better leader, a better team. So I have a lot of wonderful data from 30 years of research that has been done by Santa Clara University all over the world on leadership in 70 different countries. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I can do impossible things, because as a physicist, some things that seem impossible, I know they're merely difficult. There's the famous physicist who said, heavier than air flying machines are impossible, airplanes. Wow. So I love it when people say something's impossible. I know it means we don't know how yet. And then I say, stop, think, organize, plan. Let's make sure we know why we're doing it, who we're doing it for, do an analysis of the goals and measures of success, generate thousands of ideas, choose some ideas, experiment, prototype, and then repeat that cycle. It's called iteration. All right. So I know how to do impossible things. Well, a couple of years ago, one of my colleagues said, if you can do impossible things, why don't you help save planet Earth with climate and sustainability? So I said, sure, because I have been working in sustainability a bit for many years, because I was teaching at Stanford one class, engineering climate change and entrepreneurship. I do a class on how to make impossible possible. And I helped one organization that was adjusting Earth's reflectivity, doing some experiments there. So I decided, okay, if I can do impossible things, let me serve the people of planet Earth by helping corporations shift to a sustainable way of doing business. So that's what inspired me. And I'm moving in that direction. I'm looking for more companies that want to go on that journey. There's a whole bunch of companies that do care about this. It's called the World Business Council for Sustainable Development. Over 230 companies, the biggest companies in the world, have said there's no profit in a world that's falling apart, where people are dying because it's too hot, or the climate in general is not livable. I mean, if a volcano explodes like 70,000 years ago, it cools the earth. It also can cause problems, right? We need to be able to adjust Earth's climate so we can survive. So that's what I'm interested in doing, working with companies that want to be sustainably profitable.
That's pretty impressive. Uh, I saw a tagline on your LinkedIn profile where you have mentioned make impossible to possible. So, can you share any story where you helped of any company or individuals to achieve a breakthrough through this tagline?
Yes, I have one company I've been working with for 19 years. Every year they hire me to do this really intense global leadership program. A Japanese company, their Japanese global HR department. And they started asking me to do it a long time ago so that I could somehow get the different people in different countries working together better. They have business in 40 countries in the US, South America, Europe, Asia, Australia, and Japan. And these 6-month programs, we meet for 15 days over 6 months. And then the first week, we kick off 4 to 6 impossible projects. So they bring all kinds of ideas that they would never be allowed to work on at work in their real job. Their manager would say, forget it. Their colleagues would tell them you're crazy, and their families would worry about them. And then they choose and they get into teams to work on these projects. And then 3 months later, we meet for 5 more days, and we're learning leadership and team effectiveness and organizational culture and innovation, creativity, design thinking, and marketing and financial analysis for their projects. And then 3 months later, they meet in headquarters in Tokyo for the very last week. We meet in Tokyo, and the last half day, they present their projects to their executives. So I was just in Japan last month doing this, and these projects are amazing. They're outrageous. But in 6 months, they go from, oh, this is crazy, to, wow, we may be able to do this. But I've been keeping track of these projects over the years. This program has done over 90 impossible, crazy projects. About half of them have happened. Now, they don't happen right away, they don't happen in 6 months, but sometimes years later, the things that were planted as seeds in the brains of these executives bloom, or the graduates. Some of the graduates now are presidents of divisions or global leaders of global organizations in this company, and they're doing what they dreamed of 5, 10, 15, 19 years ago. And it's just incredible. And one of them, for example, has a global innovation networking center where they are out there looking for the seeds of the transformational change in the next generation products and technology. They're out there scouting all over the world, including Silicon Valley, this little materials company. So it's amazing how the company has transformed. I don't take all the credit for it. It's not my doing the work. It's these people, over 500 graduates of these programs, that have worked so hard to make dreams into reality. Impossible becomes possible and then inevitable. Yes.
That's great and really impressive to me. Now let's talk about some kind of challenges. So as you deal with lots of people to motivate them, to help them to create a leadership in them. So what do you think? What are the major leadership mistake you see often, and how people can avoid it?
Oh, well, the leadership mistakes have been well documented by experts in the field. For example, Dr. Bob Sutton of Stanford University, a professor at Stanford, he documented a very big mistake, which is power poisoning. So when you get positional power or money power or power of any kind, political power, when you get power, it changes you. It makes you, oh, you get more positive feedback from people, and you have lower control over your impulses to do crazy things. And you think of your own needs more than the other people's needs. And you have lower empathy and think the rules don't apply to you. And he found through his research, and I know him personally, he found that power changes people. It's not just that we promote these aggressive jerks. So I think power poisoning is the biggest threat to great leadership. Uh, what what can we do about it? We have to have people who will hold us accountable. You have to go to your close friends and say, please tell me the truth about what I'm doing and my impact. And if I start acting like this, please put your hand up and say, Kimberly, your pills. So that's the biggest problem. The second problem, I think, is that the avoiding planning. Planning is not exciting, is not fun. Stop, think, organize, plan, big why, big who, big what, measures of success before how. That's doesn't produce any immediate benefit, but it dramatically improves the efficiency and effectiveness of everything you do afterwards. So I see that as a giant problem for leadership. And the leadership data, it's crazy. Out of the projects they studied, 80%, over 80% failed to achieve their goals because they didn't have these good team skills and a whole bunch of other causes like poor project management. That's why I wrote this book, Scrappy Project Management, because at the end of every project, there's lessons learned, and they're always the same. And I said, why are we failing for totally predictable and avoidable reasons? So I like to fail for completely unpredictable and avoidable reasons. Unavoidable, sorry. If you can fail for reasons that are completely predictable and avoidable, that's crazy. It should be a huge surprise and something nobody could have anticipated and you couldn't do anything about. That's okay. You fail for that reason, but don't fail for reasons that are completely predictable and almost entirely avoidable, like poor planning.
Totally agree with you, and I truly understand this. That dealing with the people, it's not a easy task to do, and I really understand that leadership transformation, especially, it's not an easy journey for you and someone else as well. But let's talk about yourself. Maybe there comes a situation where you are conducting a session or helping someone else, but they are not easy to learn or grab all these things. So in this situation, how do you motivate yourself on such situations that you don't need to be frustrated, and how do you deal such situation?
Well, yeah, I have had a couple of really frustrating situations. I was facilitating an organizational culture workshop. I have a little workbook based on an article on organizational culture. And I was facilitating for this big global company founded in Japan. And one of the really smart engineering technical guys was like, why do I need to be here? I am an engineering man. And so I realized that it was too creative for him. It was too wild, I mean, sometimes I'm like trying to expand their brains, right? Get their heads out of the box thinking. But I had to shift more to practical things. So I said, okay, let's take something that you really care about, that you think might be very difficult or maybe impossible. Let's set it as the goal. And then let's imagine it. Let's create some really clear, vivid picture of this. And then let's map a path from today to that future. What could we do today, this week, this month, this quarter, this year to move in that direction? So I just shifted my style so that he could accept it, right? Sometimes people aren't ready for the crazy rubber chicken lady, So sometimes I have to adapt my style to match. The other problem sometimes is that executives don't think they need to change. Sometimes it's really strange, but when you work with the individual employees, they think it's not my fault, Kimberly. My boss is the problem. Then when I talk to the managers, they're like, Kimberly, we know we want to change, but it's the executives who are causing the problems. And then I talk to the executives and they're like, yeah, but the president is the real problem. And then I talked to the president and he says, yeah, but the CEO is causing these problems. I can't do anything about it. And when I talk to the CEO, he says, when the chairman dies, we can make some good changes. And I'm like, oh, dear God, we have to wait for people to die before we can make changes. So it's called learned helplessness, right? Learned helplessness means I have learned that it's not my fault and I can't cause it. I am not able to change it. I am a helpless victim. And if you feel like that, you cannot be a leader. You have to pretend that it's your fault. You have to pretend that you can do something and then look for what you can do.
That's true, because no one admit their own mistake. They always need someone whom they can blame that you made this mistake. So this happens. So let's talk about for the aspiring leaders who have no idea what is leadership and how they can develop that skills in their self. So what are the first step they should take to transform their leadership style?
Well, it's interesting, but leadership is all about behavior, what you say, what you do. And there's research in a book called The Leadership Challenge by Barry Posner and Jim Kouzes, professors at Santa Clara University. They studied millions of leaders in over 70 countries, and they came up with a list of 5 practices. Here's 5 practices of the best leaders in the world. most effective leaders that people admire and willingly follow. And each of the 5 practices has 6 specific behaviors. So all you need to do is get this list and start practicing doing it. And what they found is if you do these things, it doesn't matter if you think you're a great leader. If you do these things, other people will think you're a great leader. And one of the least practiced of the 5 big areas is encourage. Encourage the heart, appreciate people, recognize people, show gratitude, celebrate their achievements, celebrate their contributions. Out of the 5 areas, that is the least practiced all over the world. Just sincerely thank people and celebrate their achievements and contributions. And of the 30 specific behaviors, in the 5 areas are model the way, be a good example, right? Inspire a shared vision, challenge the process, enable other people to act, and encourage the heart. So out of the 30 specific behaviors, the lowest practice is ask for feedback about how my behavior is impacting you, my team members. People don't ask for feedback. They're afraid to ask for feedback, and they can't handle it when they get honest feedback. And it's so dangerous to give honest feedback, right? If you tell the big boss the truth, you better make him laugh.
Yeah, that's really great, and I'm really inspiring to get all this information and from your expertise as well. So, as at the beginning of the interview, you show me the book which you write it. You're the author of the book. Okay, so how me and my audience can avail this book to get all this knowledge for themselves?
Okay. Well, Scrappy Project Management is available on paperback, hardcover, Kindle, audiobook is out there somewhere. You can find it. Also, it's all the stuff I talked about is not in that book. You can buy the book The Leadership Challenge. You can look at Robert Sutton's books. He wrote The Knowing Doing Gap. He wrote Good Boss, Bad Boss. He wrote another book that has a title I can't really say because it has a naughty word in the title, but it's basically about boss holes, right? So if you look at the books on power poisoning and on leadership, and also look at Gallup employee engagement. Online, Gallup publishes their employee engagement data and shows how much employees all over the world care about their work. And they found that, oh my gosh, all over the world, only 25% of workers come to work really caring about their work, called being engaged. And look at that data and look at the 12 employee engagement questions. So the 5 leadership challenges, the 12 employee engagement challenges, and then the Scrappy Project Management, predictable and avoidable failures. And then remember to stop, think, organize, and plan before you go. You wouldn't jump into a taxi and have them drive as fast as possible without having a destination. So that's a good place to start. And I have lots of articles that are available for free online. If you search Kimberly Wiefling leadership, you'll find many things, many things. Don't stop learning. Don't stop growing. It's a lifelong process. I'm still on the journey.
Great. So thanks for this valuable information. Okay. So throughout your career, you have give so many advices, so many sessions that people takes and get benefit from it, right? But what are the best piece of advice you have ever received throughout your career?
Keep hope alive. Optimism is a strategy. It doesn't mean you're unrealistic. Hope is what keeps people going. If you don't have a hope, there's no reason to take action. So give people hope, give them a reason to continue to keep hope alive. Optimism is a strategy for making a better future. Noam Chomsky said that many years ago.
Impressive, great. Right. So now just change the question sessions. Like let's talk something funny. For example, you're going somewhere and you found Aladdin's lamp, right?
Oh, yes.
So what would be your three wishes? You just take it, you rub it, and the genie came out and asked, "All right, came. Ask what is your wish." So what will be your three wishes?
Can I wish for more wishes? No, no, no.
That's a
Okay,
cheating.
so
That's
first
not allowed.
wish, as I transform all human beings on planet Earth so that they all realize that we are all connected. One planet, one people. And that will solve so many things. Two, we all come together to solve all of the problems of our world, like the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We had the dream that we were going to transform the planet so everyone has enough food and clean water and a safe place to live and decent health care and education. Everybody has what they need for a safe, happy, healthy life, peaceful on planet Earth. And then we all discover our passions. Each person is able to create the fun in their life, the excitement to do the things that they love, to make their dreams come true, and to enjoy this crazy journey where we're all clinging to this giant rock flying around this big ball of fire called the sun. Those are my wishes. Thank you. What about your wishes?
About me, that's a very interesting question. For me, I have definitely three wishes. One is the infinite amount of money, number one, because if you have all the money, you can fulfill all your other wishes. You can have a luxury life, you can buy whatever you want, you can help poor people, you can create or provide solutions to any other things, or even you can fulfill the requirements for the hunger people, or anyone. So through money you can achieve all these things. Other than this, I have two wishes, and that is very easy. Number one, second is a great health for myself and my family, and the third one is just remove all the poverty from the globe so that everyone can live happily. No one should be live below the bottom line. So that are my three wishes that I will ask to
Beautiful.
Jeannie.
I wish you get your wishes. Thank you, Jeannie.
I'm glad. Thank you. Yeah, thanks to Jeannie that who will be helping us to get all uh, all these things, right? So let's talk about, because you have spent so much time with lots of people, and there maybe comes a time when you feel, I wish this time could stop here, or you get a chance to go back to the time. So what do you think, what will be your favorite time of your life that you wish to go back and
No, no, I always, my favorite time is right here, right now, being with you and the possibility of the next possibility. I had many wonderful times in my life, but I strongly believe that every day is an opportunity to move into a new journey, a new adventure. And also, it's called positivity bias. Human brain thinks like this, that somehow our lives are getting better, even if it's not true.
I'm
So
so
I'm
sorry.
looking.
My both internet connections are not with me today. I'm pretty much sure they both are feeling very jealous, because after a 3 or 4 weeks we got a chance to speak together. So
Yeah,
they must be feeling very jealous.
that's okay. I know the internet here sometimes also sucks. Sometimes, so don't worry. Internet here sometimes sucks also. So we'll just survive somehow.
They are literally
There you
feeling very
are.
jealous
Hey,
from
you're back.
us.
Yeah, the internet monsters.
I think now it's working fine. After feeling very jealous from us, I must say,
Yeah.
my both connection are feeling jealous from us. Right. So I think my question was not complete there. So I'll repeat it again for you. Ah, oh, that's pretty
Oh, think
impressive.
out of the box. Out of the box.
Out of the box. That's great, and it's a great idea, right? So I was talking about, because if you get a chance to go back to the past, so what time it would be that you wish to go back and start that era again? What it
Yeah, and I
would be?
said, I don't. I don't. If I drive my car, I rip the rear view mirror out of the car. I only look to the future, and every day I'm looking for the next possibility. I've had a wonderful life, and I am always looking for what is the next amazing experience, next adventure. I've had many incredible, like I went to India a couple of years ago and I worked there. That was wild, but I wouldn't want to be there forever. Seeing the cows in front of my taxi and goats running along the road, it was exciting. But I enjoy all the adventures while they're happening and look forward to the next one. And someday I hope I see you in person.
That's great. So I have a very secret questions to you. When you are planning to come Pakistan?
Oh gosh. That's a great question. I don't know. I'm doing a lot of travel for my work. So I like to stay home sometime. I think in the next couple of years, maybe there's an opportunity. Yeah, I need to find the time, huh? I have never been anywhere in that part of the world except India and China, of course. So I need to find a way. Yikes. I will be in Bangkok in December for 2 weeks and then Osaka for 1 week. So I'll be in that area. Maybe I can think about it.
Okay, so whenever you get a chance, we are inviting you to visit Pakistan to meet our young stars, our students. So they will be happy to meet you as well, and definitely you will get a very new experience to meet with these kids. They are really amazing. So officially or at this live session, I'm inviting you to come Pakistan to meet us and our kids, and especially Sir Rehan as well. So we will be happy to hosting you in Pakistan.
Oh, thank you so much. The kids who have interviewed me from the Rihan School, they have been amazing. So brilliant, so well prepared, using AI, and their English skills so wonderful. So impressive. Thank you for what you're doing for them.
That's great. Right. So, any advice you would like to give our audience?
Yes, keep hope alive, survive to thrive. Without hope, nothing else matters. Create that clear, vivid image of an amazing future that seems highly unlikely or even impossible. But if it were possible, woohoo! And then invite others to go on that journey with you. Attract them like a magnet.
All right. Perfect. So, Ms. Kim, this has been an incredible conversation we had together. And thank you so very much once again for sharing your insight and experience with us. Hope our audience has learned a lot from your experiences. And we hope to connect again with some another session with some more questions to discuss about each other to get know more. So I think that's all for today, and I'm very thankful to you that you gave me a time. And this one is my favorite, especially this pink chicken.
Thank you so much for your precious time. I really
This is now
enjoyed
this,
talking with you. Let's connect
yeah,
again. When you come to
me too.
visit
Yeah,
us,
definitely.
because the Rihan was here in my home having a party with a bunch of other people. when he came to the Bay Area. He came to our home. We had a wonderful party here, and I would love to have you come and visit.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Right. So, audience, she is Miss Kim, and I hope you enjoyed a lot in this session about the conversation, fun fact, and all these things. So, I'll meet you with another episode with another guest so that we can, you know, learn together, all with all everyone's experience. So, that's all from today, and we will meet again with the next session. Till then, you all of you, please take care and have a nice time. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you so much.